Welcome to Motivation Central, the elite training center for your mind.
The world needs what we got. Me, Frank, Simone, and Jazz is on the show a lot now.
Gotcha.
Who I grew up with, but I end up coaching. So we just growing. All right, well, let's get into this thing.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? This is Michael Maestro Turner, aka Stro. We in here with Keish Red. She is a nurse, and she's gonna bring some good stuff.
Good morning.
Yeah. Well, it might be good evening where everybody.
Yeah.
Shout out. Let me pull it up. Shout out to Brazil. Shout out to everybody listening in France. Everybody in Panama.
Yes.
Everybody in the UK, Puerto Rico. I think that's what I got. Yeah. So
everybody.
I mean, it's 2%, 1%, but it's like, we didn't have anybody but United States and Spain.
Yeah.
But we're now getting more listeners since we've changed the name to the podcast, and since we upgrading everything. We're putting music to it. We're editing it. We're just putting more energy and effort into it, and more listeners. We used to have 12 listeners. It's going up. It's just going up. We can have anywhere from 30 to 50 listeners now, and I'm happy about my 50 listeners.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
So, Keish Red, tell us some of yours. What have you been seeing? Let's not get into the hospital side yet. Like just what are you seeing in the streets about? Because people have naturally. Let me tell you something. It's a thing, but I don't see guys, especially guys that's not of my hue. I haven't seen a lot of guys wash their hands after using the bathroom, especially at the movies. This is a real thing. I'm talking about they hit the zipper up and out the door.
Oh my God.
Straight to their date.
And if you see it, it's happening. I don't know what people were doing before this. All of the soap is gone. All of the hand sanitizer is gone.
Oh, we clean now.
Lucky for me, I already had that stuff. But like you said, people don't wash their hands. Their hands should be washed for 20 seconds with soap. It can be Dove soap. It can be antimicrobial soap. It doesn't just soap, period. Just wash your hands. Get in there. Get in under those fingernails. That's where the bacteria is. It's in the crevices of your skin. You have to wash your hands. You have to wash it off. No way around that. Just using hand sanitizer. It works for a while, but at some point it builds up on your hand, and you're just moving the dirt around your hand with the hand sanitizer. So you have to, at some point, wash your hands. At some point, I say at minimum 4 times a day. At minimum 4 times. Minimum 4 times a day. Minimum. Like, you have to wash your hands in between everything. So
I love it. Look, you got to tell the story because you was on Instagram. Shout out to your Instagram. Tell them your Instagram at
Keish Red, KeeshRedd.
She is giving good information and she's entertaining, y'all. You got to get with it.
Yeah, so I was in Family Dollar. I went in to just go grab some things, and I got to the cash register, and I just so happened to be scanning the store. I saw this guy walk in, and he's standing at the shelf. He coughs in his hand. He adjusts his glasses, and he reaches for the item with the same hand. He picks the item up. He looks at it. He puts it down. And he proceeds through the rest of the store doing the same thing. I got out of there. I didn't stick around. Around to find out. People are not taking this seriously. I'm seeing people congregating in stores, looking at me crazy when I'm
Have you heard about the house parties?
Oh, yeah. I've seen those. Yeah.
So this is Richmond, Virginia, y'all, for everybody who is not, and I definitely have people all across the world. So Richmond, Virginia, people are still having house parties because they haven't locked us down. So I made this quarantine life podcast for everybody that's out there that's locked down, but Richmond, Virginia, and the United States is not locked down yet, and I can't say I agree with it. I think we should have done a hardcore lockdown for 2 weeks.
Yeah, they closed a couple things, trying to keep people at bay, but it's really not helping. I heard yesterday that Bell's Isle was jumping. Like, I heard a lot of people
Yeah,
were
like
out there.
a huge house party, and they let me tell you something. I'm gonna add it in. But this lady, she basically was saying, I think she's from Alabama.
Mhm.
She was saying,
Listen, my people, citizens of Mobile, Alabama, it is for real out here. When I tell you it's for real, it's for real. People is dying, dropping like flies. That lie they telling about old people and all that, no ma'am, no sir. Young people, 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds. I just was in the ED and we intubated 4 people within 30 minutes. We had a gunshot victim today who came in the hospital, and she was on quarantine. She had tested positive and was home on quarantine and got shot. This is crazy. Everybody got it. We can't go out the door. Period. We can't go outside. It's so for real, y'all. The TV, you say how you think they scare you? The TV ain't serving this shit no justice. The PPE. They got PPE, but if every patient is positive and having symptoms, what are we supposed to do? We walking around now with gowns on from head to toe. Everybody funky, musty, sweaty. We got gowns on, we got hoodies on, we got glasses on, we got masks on all day long. And the crazy part is, people saying, oh, y'all need to come home. Y'all should just come home, money ain't everything. We can't even come home. Because now we've been exposed, so now we have to quarantine for 14 days. So if I got to be here for 14 days, anyway, I might as well come to work. So don't say, like, why you ain't coming home? Because I can't. It's the same thing. Whether I sit in the hotel room or whether I go to work. Everybody got it. Somebody can go to work and pass by me, and I'ma have it. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't got no PPE on in the hotel. It's just that serious, y'all. Please don't take it lightly. Please don't be at your house partying and kicking it how we was, because we ain't know. It's for real. Y'all, this message is not to scare nobody. I just want people to be aware, because before we went into those hospitals, we was in here kicking it. We was having a good time. We was partying. We was walking to Target. We was walking to get something to eat. So we went inside that hospital, y'all. It is so sad. Like, nurses crying, people packing up and leaving. It is devastating. It is some stuff that you see on TV. Like, people dying, and they just putting a sheet over them, working on the next patient. Patients who need to be in the hospital for other things other than the corona, they can't come to the hospital because the corona got it sold up. It's like a real epidemic, a real pandemic, just like they say. The news is not doing this any justice. Like, they need to take the camera and go in the hospital so y'all can really understand, and y'all won't be worried about school or nothing else.
I don't know if you saw it, but like for the longest time, I did not agree with that 65 plus thing. I just did not agree with it. There's no way you can target one population with a virus that we know nothing about.
right.
So for them to say that, there could be someone with asthma that's 25 that this could take out. So
And
let's,
for us that critically think, it definitely wasn't. It made us even more conspiracy theorists, because we
right,
like, if it only target older people,
right,
then this is man-made,
right.
because that's not the way the universe
That's
works.
not the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
It goes for who it wants to, and it's not an age thing. So when they kept saying, oh, 65 plus, even that thing that they quote and say 80% of people won't need to be hospitalized,
Right.
that's because some of them will probably die at home. Some of them will die in other means. So yes, they won't need hospitalization because they'll be at home quarantining and they'll probably end up passing. But yeah, the system is stressed, so stressed right now. Just I've never seen anything like it. I was a
Tell
CNA.
them what you do. Tell them what you do.
Okay, so I'm a primary care registered nurse. I started out as a CNA. I did that for 5 years. I was an LPN for 4.5 years. This October will make it 4 years that I've been an RN. So I've been doing this a little over 10 years, and I've never seen anything like this. Even with Ebola and SARS, it was not to this magnitude, like at
Wow.
all, at all.
Do you feel? Remember, this is only opinions. We talk about whatever we want to talk about
Gotcha.
on this podcast. Ain't no holds bar. So, do you feel like our leadership? When I say leadership, I don't use the buzzwords because they've been, these algos and these bots have been taking my stuff down, muting it and all that. So I try not to say the C word. I might say COVID, but do you think our leadership has should you think our leadership should have just not tried to play this safe and just go ahead and shut the country down like a minute ago, like China did?
Most definitely. Most definitely. I'm a big YouTuber. I watch a lot of YouTube. I do a lot of
Same
self-education.
here.
So I have been watching this since the end of December, beginning of January, when it got out of control, when China was having a problem. I'm like, oof, by March, we're going to have a problem. Look
Yeah.
at us. It doesn't stay within borders. They tried to cover it up, whatever their process was, and it came over. If antennas were in the air and looking at what was going on in the world, I feel like we could have acted sooner, and a little bit more could have been done.
Yeah, to hear T-Man talking about, oh, this is a hoax, it's not real, it's a shot against my presidency, they're trying to, ruin me. And, I actually saw this meme, or it was IGTV, and it showed, they had a calendar of every month since COVID started. And then it has him saying, it's a hoax, it's not real. And then it just gets worse and worse.
It'll wash over, it'll go away.
Yeah, so now we're doing the best we can. We have the best people on it. They're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah.
People are dying who never died before.
And you know what? I haven't heard that out of his mouth. I've been seeing memes about it, but I didn't get to see that one. I have to look.
I need to look it up, but they have been killing that. I thought that was hilarious.
Disgusting.
What's great, family? I need you to head over to Patreon and search for Motivation Central. Look, I'm going to give you a month free just to get your feel of exactly what we're doing here, what goes beyond this podcast. Look, family, we invest a lot of time, a lot of energy into this, and we would love to be able to build further with you. So take the time, go over to Patreon, Motivation Central. All right, family, peace.
So unfortunate that we are in this situation, but it seems to me that places are doing what they can and with the materials that they have, and shout out to the sewing community. They have really stepped up, and whatever they have, they are coming to the front line. Like here's a cover. It may not protect against everything, but you can put this liner inside of this and all types of things. So shout out to the sewing and crafting community.
You know what? Shout out to them, but I also want to shout out to you and all of the CNAs, the nurses, the LPNs, all the nurses, but CNA, nurse, LPN, RN, doctors, because y'all saving us. You are saving us, literally, and putting your lives on the line. And my prayers are definitely going up to you, your family, and everybody, because this thing is not a game.
It's not. People are now experiencing more of the coughing and the congestion, and also there are GI symptoms, diarrhea, vomiting, nausea. So we can't overlook that. That's also part of it. A lot of places are seeing that, but that's not being part of the rhetoric. That's not part of the the cough, the fever. There's also nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. So we have to look at that, all of that.
And it's crazy, but a lot of people are not getting informed. The things I post on it doesn't get any likes. If I post something about Cardi B yelling, that gets views. But it's hey, look, I'm just gonna keep doing the light work.
Yeah, it won't hit home until someone's grandparent or infant is sick. So that's when it'll hit home, and that's the unfortunate part. And it's really unfortunate that it really hit home for us when the NBA was shut down. We're like that. That's
when it got real for me. I think all of the intelligent people, all the people that had their life together before this happened, that were paying their bills, that didn't own 100 pairs of J's, those people took it real. When I remember Angie was like, my stomach sank because you were at church, and I was like, oh my God, is this the end of the world? Like, that's the kind of feeling she got at first, like the NBA has canceled their season. And she said right after that said MLB, NFL, NHL, like all the F's.
I saw it coming, and I guess just because I'm a YouTuber, I saw it coming. I said this is going to be bigger than what anybody thought it could. It's huge, and it's just it spreads so easily. Just people just need to keep their 6 feet and practice that social distancing. And if you're having a fever, that cough, you need to go ahead and self-isolate. Just stay at home unless you're having that cough that where you cannot breathe. If you're having shortness of breath and you cannot inhale, that is probably turning into pneumonia. You are going to need further treatment. Or if you have a fever that is not responding to Tylenol, ibuprofen, and that fever is 103, 104, 105, you need to go to the hospital.
Message.
The fever is a natural reaction that the body gives off to fight. So the body can function at 99, 100, 101. 102 is my sweet spot. I'm like, that, we're kind of in that area. But if you are taking Tylenol around the clock, like the bottle says, and that fever's not breaking, that's time to go to the hospital. Other than that, if you're just having coughing and the diarrhea and the fever and things of that nature, there's nothing they can do for you. To be completely honest, there's nothing unless you need a vent where you cannot breathe or that fever is burning your body to HE double hockey sticks. That's when you go to the hospital. Other than that, there's nothing that they can do for you. There's no cure. There's no vaccine. There's just life-sustaining measures. And that's why I stocked up on medications. I've been doing this for the past 2 months, Stro. I've been buying little stuff, Tylenol, NyQuil, Gatorade, just things that I need in my household in case things hit the fan. So just keeping things clean, wiping down handles, the things that you touch.
Right.
Whenever someone comes in, don't have anybody over, but if someone has to come in, even you and your partner, washing your hands, taking those clothes off at the door. I don't think you have to be super, that super germaphobe, but just keeping it contained. Things of that nature, staying out of people's faces. It's really a point of that social distancing that's important. And I feel like we need to treat everybody as if they're infected. It's kind of like a reverse isolation, where you treat yourself as if you're infected and that you don't want to spread it. And that kind of makes you more cautious of what you're doing and where you're going. So,
no joke. I'm really, I would tell everybody to watch Contagion because we're living that movie.
And I've never seen it. I need to look at it.
We're living the movie. It came from a bat and all this stuff. Like it does so much. See, I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist. I'm pretty sure somebody will call me one. It's just that I believe in this. I believe in facts, and I also believe in. I believe there is fake news out there, and I also believe in connecting dots. So what I do is I believe that Bob Proctor said this: the test of an educated person is can they entertain a new idea.
Message.
People that shut new ideas down are closed-minded, most time ignorant, most time uneducated, most time they don't know much. But they did. Oh, I don't want to hear that. Yeah. And if a new idea, a new anything gets you upset, there's some ignorance. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Sad. So I entertain all of these theories, and it's exactly like Contagion. I mean, they even said the word. They enforced social distancing.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was something new, that just came out now.
It's in the movie. It looks like it in my opinion, it's almost looking like somebody sat, the 1% or whoever, controls things or has the power that could possibly make this happen, just sat down on the table and was like, we could use that. And it's literally in the movie, a bat drops some guano down on the on the floor in a pig pen. The pigs are eating the guano as the bats just sitting at the top of and those bats, those pigs get sold, and when they get consumed, the virus gets started and something like that, and it's horrible. They started practicing social distancing. The one of the girls is in. I'm telling because you really can't tell it because it's happening right now.
Man.
But this girlfriend and her boyfriend separated, You know what I'm saying? She's trying to let him in the house. The dad's like, well, he's like got his gun or his bat or something like that. He's like, yo, you better not let him in this house. He said, I don't have it. I don't have it. You know, it's crazy. And I think I went to the movies to see, I think. I'm not sure. Or maybe I went with my boys or something because Angie said she hadn't seen it either. But it is scary how close we are to that movie. And then people were in line for the vaccine. Or when they got the vaccine, it was like, okay, to make this fair, we're doing it by alphabetical order.
I don't want any vaccines. I don't want any. I don't
think anybody
I'm all
wants
for
it.
the basic, lifetime shots, the baby shots you got to get to go to school. I'm all for those.
It's supposed to take like months to a year to come up with one, and it's also supposed to take like at least a year to administer it to everyone.
It has to be it has to go through clinical trials. It has to actually show evidence that it works or that it doesn't work.
So if one pops up before August, I'm definitely I'm headed to the conspiracy theory side.
Yeah,
because a word on the street, they've had a patent for this that got approved in 2019.
I heard that.
Come on.
I heard it.
Come on.
And you know what? They had some people that had insight on it, and they started dumping stocks and stuff like right before it got to America.
Things that make you go.
I believe in trends. I really believe in trends. It doesn't have to be actual. Oh, this percentage. I look at trends. Just like with the vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, that wasn't a part of that. Oh, the coughing, the fever. No, but looking at these different broadcastings, I'm seeing this trend of this, and I'm seeing that in my office as well. And I'm like, well, where is this coming from? And also, Stro, back in October, November, and December, there were so many people that came in with what we called upper respiratory infections. We tested so many people for the flu, and only a handful, like I can count on one hand how many came back flu positive. So I can only imagine how many were those actually maybe a form of corona that had already made it here.
So here's the thing. I at this point, I don't believe it came from Wuhan because I've had friends that personally have wrote Facebook statuses saying, I had everything that they're saying corona is back in November. I think Timon was saying how, I think like a podcast ago, he was just like, yo, my daughter was vomiting a couple times every 2 hours, and the doctor said, oh, it's a bug. It's a bug. And Jackson said her kids was struggling with it. So interesting.
Yes, I thought about that, and I said, man, back in between the span of October and December, it was so many people coming in just, oh, I can't breathe, and I have a cold. It got better, but then it got worse. And now looking back on it, the people we tested, we only got about 4 or 5 came back flu positive. So what was the rest of it? So I'm like, yeah, I believe in trends. And it's in my opinion, it's been here. So.
Right. So I do think it's some foul play. And I just believe that eventually somebody will blow the whistle. I mean, the guy who blew the whistle in China, he got killed. So, it's like if and China was like, oh, well, the U.S. imported it in, and it's like, okay, cool. But, when people end up dead who are whistleblowers, that makes you question everything you just said.
And then that even made me question the age thing because he was 32 or 30. He wasn't old. He didn't have underlying issues when he caught norovirus. Now to your point, they may have taken him out after that, but he had the norovirus. So this one whistleblower that has it, he's not 65. So why are you continuing to throw this out? You're sending mixed messages. So
that's what I'm saying. And it's like if a lot of people believe in, these secret groups and all the stuff that do this stuff. Man, y'all took all this time, these years to plan this stuff, and it come out this horrible.
Man. Oh my God.
When I look at 9/11, I mean, I've seen it for myself. There's a new YouTube now, but there used to be a YouTube where there was no censored. It wasn't censored. All of the stuff was up there. In 2001, 2002, 2003, 4, and 5, I'm telling you that you could find videos of there were videos of, you could see the explosions going off in an order, like implosions. It looked like it well, not implosion, explosions in every floor. It was like a demolition.
I know exactly what
and
you're
then
talking
the
about,
way the
yeah.
building fell, yeah, but it showed all of it. All of those videos are gone. You can't find them. They are gone. And there's also videos of news anchors that were there at where it was before they fell, and they were interviewing people, and the guy was like, the firefighter said, I heard like, which sounded like a demolition, like explosions, like it was ordered, like do 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 do. Like if you're going to run a plane in the building, you don't need the demolition. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it means, foul play. So, it's just like, if you got all this time to plan it, somebody said at least take me out to dinner first, we going straight to Netflix and chill.
Take me out.
Make it look good. Kiss me while you screw me. I mean, because your mind screwing me. So at least kiss me. Make it look good. Make it
at
believable.
Least. Jesus.
I feel like this is the time for critical thinkers, to thrive. You will thrive if you can critically think. If you just gonna go with the wind, you're in trouble.
And a lot of people are in trouble. They've been going with the wind for the past month, and until the middle of March, especially for Richmond, it started to get real, where things were closing. They were closing ABC stores because employees, their roommates were testing positive and things of that nature. So it started to get real when things that mattered to certain people got real. So.
You know what? What is the temperature? See, I when we do corporate, work, and we work with groups and organizations, we talk about the temperature versus the culture. The culture can be one thing. That's how something operates or how a business does what it does. Then you have the temperature. The temperature is, do we like the pastor? Do we like the boss? Do we like, so, you know what I'm saying? So what's the temperature on the nursing side? Because I happen to have a lot of friends that are nurses and family that are nurses, and I know about this little undertone beef that CNAs have with RNs and RNs have with LPNs. Oh yeah, I know. So don't you try to act like it ain't real. They hate on each other. Like, it's like LPNs, like they see RN and be like, oh, they don't do nothing. We do all the work. I don't know why they get paid so much. Then you got the CNAs, like it's just like a little hateration going on. Is everything okay? Like, how is this affecting the temperature?
I will say on social
nursing?
media, I've seen people. I've seen people getting upset that a lot of posts are only about nurses and doctors and not about respiratory therapists, CNAs, LPNs, things of that nature. And I can understand feeling left out.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was a CNA, I was an LPN, so I know what it feels like to be on that level of professionalism. There can be bad days, there can be good days. It just depends on your team. And like you said, that the culture, the climate of the environment, sometimes it is a negative environment. Sometimes it's just toxic. Other times, the one person may not understand the real life responsibilities of another person's scope. And until they could really switch jobs, that CNA would give that RN back her job real quick.
Message.
So just say that. So they're on the computer all the time. I hear that a lot. The RN's on the computer all the time. We're covering our A. We're documenting.
I love it.
So we are making sure that if this comes back 10 years from now, that I documented. I'm in court fighting for my life, not to go to jail. I documented what happened, what I was doing. CNAs don't have to do that. So that's just the change in it. And, some people understand it, some people don't. And it's unfortunate when those messages get mixed that way. But being that I've been through all three stages of it, I completely get it on all sides of it. So.
Wow. Yeah, I've definitely heard a lot about the little, temperature. You know what I'm saying? People feeling some type of way. And I do know that just watching my little sis EJ
shout out to
rise
her.
up in that
doing
world.
Her thing. Shout out to her.
Man, I'm so proud of her. She accepted the grad school right before CV. So we hoping that, this happens. But if she's supposed to start, she was set to start in August.
She's gonna get through it. This gonna be over. She's
So
gonna get through it, and she's gonna be dope. Yep.
yeah, absolutely. She just talks about little things, and but it's like shade, a lot of shade.
Yeah, and it's really really unfortunate. Like I said, if CNAs and RNs could switch jobs for a day, for a week, they would be handing us our jobs back. And I tell people all the time, just go back to school.
What?
If you feel like you can do this, go back to school and help us. Come help us, please.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think people understand. Like, there are prerequisites, there are qualifications, there are
girls. Okay, so here's another one of my examples. I have girls walk up to me. Our girls walk up to me, and they undermine me, Stro. If I was a different color, the response would be different. Not saying all of them, but a lot of them, especially the young ones. I had this young girl ask me, "How you do that?" I said, "How do I do what?" She pointed to my uniform, pointed to me up and down, and said, "How you do that?" I said, "Become a registered nurse." She was like, "Yeah, be a nurse." I said, "A registered nurse?" I said, "I went to school." "Oh, how you do that?" She wanted me to sit there and tell her what I did step by step.
Oh, you want a coaching session? Oh, okay.
Hello.
Give me $100.
So I'm like, I felt exactly.
I'll send you an invoice.
I felt kind of, what do you mean? No, I didn't go to high school. I went beyond high school for this. I filled out FAFSA forms. I took out school loans. I failed a couple classes. I failed a couple tests. I struggled to do this. Yeah. And
paid my stripes.
And that's what I mean by that girl that asked me that. I'm pretty sure she's probably a CNA, or she's somebody like a PCA that doesn't understand there's actual levels to this.
It is. But it's levels to every profession.
So to ask me how you do that, what do you mean? How do you do that?
That's like asking the owner of a team,
how you become the owner of a team?
Well,
it's levels to this.
Levels to it.
So yeah, that's where that confusion comes in. And I thought about that, Stro. I said maybe I need to do some online teaching or something like that for these new grads and things. And
we all adapting right now,
and that's the best thing to be doing. Everybody's at home, so it's the best time for it.
Listen, y'all, we have had our special guest, Keish Red, nurse, and just dropping some good
wash
good
your
vibes,
hands,
good
do
knowledge.
your social distancing.
Listen, y'all.
Everybody, take this seriously.
Please.
The longer it takes
20
you
seconds.
to do this, the longer this is going to spread out, and we're probably going to go into the summer with this. So please take it seriously.
Yep, hunker down and understand that there's one thing that is guaranteed to happen.
That's the only thing that remains the same. Change. Yep.
Absolutely. So as I close out, in the words of Jamie Torkowski, he said, conversations will not be canceled. Relationships will not be canceled. Love will not be canceled. Songs will not be canceled. Reading will not be canceled. Self-care will not be canceled. Hope will not be canceled. May we lean into the good stuff that remains. Y'all stay up. Salutes to everybody that still has the hope and still has dreams. Let's get it. Peace.